G'day guys, and welcome to vlog number 2. So today I've got a whole bunch of errands to run. I've got to pick up some more gas for the forge, and then I'll be able to heat treat all of those blanks that you saw in the last vlog. I've also got to do the pre-heat treat grind on the blanks that I forged yesterday. I tend to grind pre-heat treat, and then post-heat treat I'll do all my finish grinding. That just makes it easier in overall grinding, so I don't have to worry about the heat on the blade. And yeah, so I've also got a couple of friends coming over tomorrow. My fabulous patrons, Nathan and Andy, they're going to be coming over tomorrow to help me out. They'll be in this video as well. We're going to be getting rid of my lathe, which you can see here. And we'll also be moving a whole bunch of shelving and stuff like that around. So, stick with us and hopefully you enjoy. Remember guys, ears, eyes, and lungs. You don't want to be caught breathing or breathing this stuff in or getting stuff in your eyes. And your ears, well, it helps to be able to hear. Let's get grinding. So first I'm going to establish the flats on my blade. First started using a dull belt to remove the scale, and then I change over to a sharp belt to get those flats nice and true before I start doing my bevels. I will be making use quite a bit of the hyperlapse because I obviously don't have time to keep setting up the camera. So here they are pre-bruff bevel. I've tapered the tangs, stepped in the ricasso roughly. I'll do that with a file guide before I heat treat. Taper the tang on this one. The kitchen knives, because I forged them fairly thin, I'm going to heat treat that before I grind it. These two are ready now for grinding the bevels in before heat treatment. So with the bevel grinding, I'm doing a rough bevel, not taking too much care. Obviously I don't want to run over the spine, but I'm not trying to get everything flat and true at this stage. Just want to remove the majority of the material. I'm using a push stick to give it a little bit more force and not burn my fingers, because as you'll notice, the blades do change color into that blue, dark purple, brown kind of color from the heat. Obviously that's not a problem given that they're not hardened, and when I come to post heat treat grinding I'm going to have to be a lot more careful. And I'll be using sharp belts all the time. Right, so grinds are done. As you can see, they're roughed in. They don't have to be super even at this stage. I like to keep the edge thickness fairly even and try and keep it nice and straight so that it's not going to warp in the heat treat. But that's the overall profile ready. It's still very thick, as you can tell, and that's to prevent warping during heat treat. And this one, again, try and keep the edge thickness nice and even. The grind height's similar. This one's going to have a full flat grind with a swedge, and this one's going to have just a full flat grind. But yeah, that's all ready for heat treat now. So now I need to go get a new bottle of gas, because that one over there is empty. So road trip time. So I realized as I was heading out that I actually have a second gas bottle at my classroom in my workshop in Oakford, and so I figured I'd come here and pick that up, and while I'm at it show you guys the workshop, because obviously I haven't shown it on my channel yet. So here we are on the farm. It's a little farm in Oakford, and my workshop is just in here. So this is the workshop. It's not huge, and obviously none of my gear is in here right now except the little portaforge and the gas bottle. But yeah, this is where I hold my classes, one-on-one classes. Normally set up my anvil. You can actually see where the anvil normally sits because it's got the circular indentation on the ground. But yeah, this is where I hold my classes. And that's the gas bottle. Back to the workshop. So, that didn't go to plan. It's now the next day. Unfortunately, I had a bit of an accident, which I will show very soon. If you're, a bit squeamish, skip ahead about 30 seconds. I'll show you the clip. Yeah, and managed to slice myself to the bone on a blade. So, off to the doctors. You know how it is. Be careful around sharp stuff, kids. So yeah, a couple hours in the hospital, a few stitches. That's why I'm wearing the latex glove, is to protect the stitches on my finger. But we're back at it. I've got Nathan here with me. He's currently working on some wood.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, and I've got a whole bunch of blades to heat treat, so that's what we're going to get to. I've got the blades that I've got on the anvil, which you saw in the last video, and I also have a series of blades that I'm kind of collaborating with another maker on, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, so we're going to be heat treating those blades, sticking them in the oven, and also, while that's going on, we're going to be clearing out that mess down there. And the lathe is going. That's all going back to its original owner, which is my father. So we're going to be kind of running 6 different things at once. So anyway, stick with us and we'll have some fun. So in this clip, I'm normalizing all of the blades that I forged to reduce the stress and reduce the grain size in the steel to provide a better edge when I finally come to quench and temper them. Basically, I'm heating up to critical temperature and then letting them cool in still air on the anvil. I try and lay them spine down so that they don't cool one side faster than the other and warp unnaturally. Okay, so these have all been normalized twice. I always do 2 normalization cycles, sometimes 3, depending on the steel I'm using. These are all fairly high carbon steels. I'm only going to normalize them twice before I quench them. Obviously ran out of gas in one bottle, switched over to the second bottle, so we're good to go for the rest. And before I get started on those, I figured I'd show you. A friend of mine, who's also a knife maker, has had a set of kitchen cutlery, a whole bunch of these, manufactured over in the US, of some twist Damascus steel. They're all quite pretty, all integral bolsters. He actually designed them in CAD and had them made. Unfortunately, they're fairly soft. They're around the 42, 43 Rockwell, so I've got to reheat treat these guys, and it's actually one of these that I sliced my finger open on when I took it out of the wrapping. So anyway, got to normalize these, and then we'll be ready to do some quenching. So stay tuned. Okay, so now they've all been normalized, I've now got to quench them. So I've got my large quench tank ready to go. I'm going to preheat that by heating up a railroad spike, probably this one, and running that in the oil, because you want the oil to be somewhere around 60 degrees Celsius. That lowers the viscosity, which means that you get a much quicker quench. Things tend to cool down faster, kind of contra to what you'd think would happen. And so once that's preheated, then I'll start quenching, and then I'll probably end up having to churn the oil a little bit, because obviously this top bit's going to get very hot, given that these are only going to be sticking in about that far. So yeah, I've got about 20 blades to do. I'm going to put this on time lapse, and you can watch me do that. So while I was quenching all of these blades, my father and Andy showed up, and they cleared out that load of crates of paint and stuff like that my dad had left here. He decided to leave the lathe with me for another couple of weeks while he got his workshop sorted out, which was good. Means that Nathan could get his jobs done. He's got a few projects to run. But anyway, most of the Damascus blades, being Twist Damascus, twisted in the quench because Twist Damascus tends to want to untwist when hardened as the steel expands and contracts. So I had to do quite a bit of kind of straightening and tweaking just before and after the quench, and I'll have to do a little bit more after temper as well. The blades that I made, being that I left them quite thick and they were only of mono steel, actually stayed relatively straight, which is why I leave them that thick at the beginning. And so all of them went into the tempering oven at about 175 degrees Celsius for 2 cycles of 2 hours. And in previous testing, I know for a fact that the 1084 and 5920, the Damascus will come out to about 58 to 59 Rockwell. These are all Rockwell tested by my fellow knife maker, the one I'm collaborating with. The other blades will probably sit around the same, being that they are of a similar kind of alloy. Okay, so I've heat treated most of the blades. All I've got left, if I pick this up, is the file fighter. Now, it's probably not the time to be trying new things, but I want to, kind of break my boundaries a little bit. So what I'm going to be doing is attempting a clayless hamon on this blade. So I'm going to be heating the whole thing up to a red heat, and then using time and temperature in my quench, I'm going to try and create a good hamon along the blade. We'll see how it works. I'm actually taking a little bit of a leaf out of Nick Wheeler's book. He's done a lot of this kind of stuff before, and the results are amazing. It could go horribly wrong, it couldn't, it might not. We'll see, but I think you've got to put your best foot forward when you're going to a show like Perth Knife Show, so I may as well push my boundaries a little bit and see how we go. So we'll show you that. Looks like it was successful. I'm not sure if the people at home are going to be able to see that, but there's a good line of martensite along there. So that means that this section back here should be nice and soft, and this section here will be nice and hard. There'll probably be a little bit of perlite up in here, but yeah, it looks like there's some nice martensite forming on the edge. So hard edge, soft spine, and hopefully a hamon in the middle. Alright guys, thanks. So that's it for today guys. Those blades will cook away for a couple hours at about 175 degrees Celsius. I'm aiming for approximately 57, 58 Rockwell on the Damascus blades and slightly higher on the other blades that I made. So we'll wait for those to temper, and then I'll start my finish grinding, which will be in the next vlog, which will come out on Wednesday. So if you want to stay tuned with everything that I'm doing, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification icon to get notified of when I upload a new video. I'm planning on uploading 2 vlogs a week, one on Wednesday and one on Saturday. And I will plan on getting back to my normal routine of making, specific build videos in the future after Perth Knife Show in February. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little insight into what I get up to when I'm not making specific videos for YouTube. And, yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.